Hello and welcome to another update video about Platinum. Platinum is back above 1000 USD and we are dealing with a structure that I already talked about in the last video only like a week ago. Made you aware that there is, in my opinion, a possible breakout setup to the upside, a breakout above these trend lines. We have an Elliott wave setup and a classical trend line breakout setup. The market since then moved higher and is following through nicely at the moment. Those charts like Platinum, they often move in corrective structures. For example, here within a larger C wave, we are expecting a 5-wave increase here, where the B wave bottomed in November 2023. And then initially we've seen a 3-wave move up, which I consider the A wave of circle wave 1. Then this here is a B wave, probably in the WXY, in wave 1. And then we had this C wave rally, probably as an ending diagonal. Yeah, pretty ugly, but it's an ABC structure. It's not an impulse. So we have this start of the larger C wave in 3 waves, which indicates we're dealing at best with a diagonal pattern. So it's not a highly reliable pattern. However, that's quite common when we're dealing with, for example, Platinum. But then we took a look at the pullback area, the correction for the wave 2. I highlighted this here would be the relevant support level or range. And it so far is still holding. The market is now way above it. Could, of course, still retest it. I mean, this would still be relevant in case we form another lower low. Then 934 or even 892 will be the relevant levels. But I would also pay attention to the relevant trend lines. Over time, I've learned that Platinum loves to adhere to trend lines, and it really follows these nicely. For example, this one here has 3 touch points. We have 1 touch point in February, 1 touch point in April, and another one here, yeah, or at least got very, very close. But there's a smaller trend line you might not see, which is running here. But essentially, the point I try to make is we have a possible reversal here, and we have a break above a couple of trend lines, which were a signal. So since the last time when I made the video last time, I think we were stuck here somewhere, and the market then broke out and is now nicely following through here. However, this is now obviously not going to happen without any setbacks. So the idea is we are now in circle wave 3. Overall, in the medium term, I'd like the price to get to 1330 roughly. That's the 1.236 extension of the initial 1-2 setup. And this is a common target for a 3rd wave in a diagonal. Now, looking at the microstructure, the market is now moving up nicely alongside this, or following this smaller trend line. So as long as we're holding that, I mean, there are 3 to 4 touch points here as well, the A wave can continue. At some point, we should get a B wave pullback. Now, if that's going to be, you know, another ABC within that A wave, we will have to see. But if I had to label that right now, the micro, I would, let me just find it, highlight this here as an A wave, B wave pullback, C wave rally. Highlight it in yellow. Need to change the wave degree here briefly. If I zoom in, just highlights the possibility that this here was an A wave to the upside. Looks like a 5-wave move, so it could be complete wave A. That would be the assumption that wave A is completed. Now, it's possible that the B wave of the larger A wave already bottomed here on the 27th. So that was around 999. Possible, okay, possible. However, I have to say that this would have been very shallow for a B wave pullback. So what I will do, I will add a support zone to the chart. And you can see that the price, and actually I just need to add the 78.6 Fib level. So this is essentially, if we get another pullback, this is where it needs to turn around, or the assumption that we've bottomed in wave 2, middle of June, has to be revised. So there's a support zone. We have 4 Fibonacci support levels to watch now. I think a pullback of sorts has started. The only question is, okay, is the B wave maybe already, is it already done? Has it finished? Is the bottom in? And are we already in the C wave? Well, the pullback will give us clarity, because if the B wave is still unfolding, then we should test a little lower, the support area a little lower, probably around 990 or 980 USD. Okay, but at the moment, as long as we are holding the $1,000 level pretty much, or 999.90, we could make the case that the B wave is already in. It's shallow, right? And it's only the 38.2 Fib level. Difficult to say. I mean, it's very simple. If you're focusing directly on higher, you can just set a stop below the last swing low. It just means that if we break it, we could simply test 990 or 979.90 next. Okay. It's not, price action from the recent lows isn't very convincing. It's only in 3 waves up as well. So I don't have a clear confirmation that the B wave has already bottomed. So for me, this is the count, okay? But what's obviously unclear is whether the B wave has bottomed or not. It will become clearer if we break above the A wave high at 1,037 USD. But I would use this support area as, basically, as key support area for this B wave pullback, okay? So we have 4 levels. The lowest one is 964.80. Any break below that would make it more likely that the larger wave 2 is still unfolding. But as you might have sort of realized, this is quite a bullish analysis about platinum. Even pullbacks could simply lead to a, let's say, opportunity to buy a little bit lower, but would not necessarily change the overall uptrend, because my assumption is, at the moment at least, that a larger B wave, let me zoom out again, bottomed here in November last year, and that we are in an uptrend. But expect choppy price action. So the main support area for the larger wave 2 is between 965 and 892. But as long as we're holding basically 965, assumption is that the third wave to the upside has started. But because we're dealing with a larger diagonal, it's not going to be impulsive. So you'll have all these setbacks, choppy price action, and it just means be on the side of caution. That requires a lot of babysitting. That's the update about platinum. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you're interested in daily updates about the S&P 500, as well as regular updates about stocks, feel free to check out the stocks and S&P 500 service. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.